Hi, everybody. It's Monica Heltz with your daily Fishers Health Department update for Friday, September 4th. And we're going into the Labor Day holiday weekend. It looks like a beautiful day for weather or a beautiful weekend for weather. So I hope you guys all have some fun and safe activities planned. I hope, again, that you will keep safety in mind when it comes to COVID because we have seen spikes after holiday weekends in the past. So it really does matter how you choose your activities here, especially as we're sending these kids back to school. Anything you guys can do to support safety in your activities over this holiday weekend is going to help support those kids. Our rates right now, the Fishers rates seem to be going down. Our percent positivity is at 5%. Our case incidence rate is at 14.84, and those are on the decline. Hamilton County, however, has been going up a little bit. We're at a 6.5% in the county, and the state has us at a 1.5 on their new metric system, which is now available on the state dashboard. So just things to keep in mind there. As you're planning your holiday weekend, I thought I would provide you just with some tips. First and foremost, please do stay home if you're feeling ill, if you're sick in any way, or if you've been in contact with someone with active disease. Please follow those guidelines again and stay home if there's any possibility that you could have COVID or that you've been recently exposed to COVID, so that we can keep our community safe and keep making the progress that we've been making. If you're planning to travel, I would ask you to consider the COVID rates of the place you're traveling to, as well as your personal risks while you're making those travel plans. Of course, it's probably too late for that now for this weekend, but just things to keep in mind. I would also have you suggest that you look into any restrictions on the place that you're traveling. A lot of places actually have quarantines in place for traveling, and Indiana is on some of those lists. You're also going to want to check into if they have a mask mandate or if they require you to have COVID testing before you go. And again, that is not just internationally, that is also some states are requiring those things. So just things to keep in mind as you're thinking about going out of state. If you're planning a road trip, whether it be in state or out of state, I would recommend that you pack some extra things and some items in your car. You're, of course, going to want to have your mask for if you need to go into any kind of restaurants or gas stations or anything like that. Have some hand sanitizer in there so that you can keep your hands sanitized if you're touching anything out and about. Maybe some wipes for your car. You can wipe down gasoline pumps, your doorknobs, any kind of hotel surfaces if you happen to stay at a hotel, anything like that. Just some antibacterial wipes would be a good idea. And some food and water just in case where you're going to, if the places that you were kind of leaning on to stop at happen to be closed, you're going to want to have some extra supplies. I would also suggest that when you're selecting a location, for example, if you were thinking about going for a nice walk outdoors at a state park, those are fantastic options. But in the time of COVID, we know that a lot of people already know about the state parks and they tend to be very crowded, even on non holiday weekends. But on holiday weekends, they get even more crowded. So I love the state parks. I love that you want to go outside and get some hiking in. That's one of my favorite activities. But maybe you didn't know there are lots and lots of places around the state, in fact, to get on a trail and be outside in a lovely area. There's state recreational areas, there's state forests and national forests here in our state. So I would encourage you to try to get off the beaten path a little bit if you're worried about crowds, because we do see them a fair bit. If you happen to be inviting people over, I again hope that your gatherings are on the small side. I would ask you to remind your guests to stay home if they're feeling sick. I would ask you to please keep a list of any guests you have. So if we do need to do contact tracing, then you'll be ready. Um, do things that can encourage social distancing, like having your event outside, keeping your windows open. It's going to be great weather. Have your activities be distanced activities such as frisbee or kickball, something like that. Maybe you could develop a unique greeting. Instead of hugging and kissing, you could be bumping elbows or doing a funny wave or something like that. Have masks and sanitizer handy. You might want to dedicate a specific area for hand washing, maybe a dedicated bathroom for your guests. Limit the number of people that are handling food. And then just generally from a food safety standpoint, you want to make sure that anytime you're preparing food, of course, you want to make sure that you're washing your hands thoroughly. Again, soap and water for a full 20 seconds. Wash your cutting boards. Keep your meats and your veggies separate, especially your raw meats. You want to keep them separate from other items. Use a food thermometer if you're concerned about the thoroughness of your cooking. And then if you happen to be having a picnic and you have food sitting out, it is recommended that after 2 hours, you need to throw that food away, or it needs to be in a cooler or a fridge. If it's over 90 degrees, I don't think the forecast is saying that, but if it is over 90 degrees, you do want to throw it out after 1 hour. And then put that food away quickly in shallow containers in a fridge so that it can cool down and limit the number of bacteria that are growing. So those are the recommendations. I hope you guys have a very safe and healthy Labor Day weekend, and enjoy the nice weather. Thanks so much. Bye.